India and Germany share a long history of cooperation in scientific research, technology development, and innovation, institutionalized under the framework of the Intergovernmental Science and Technology Agreement signed in 1974. The year 2024 is being celebrated as the Golden Jubilee year of the Science and Technology Cooperation Agreement between the two countries. As part of the Golden Jubilee celebration, the Department of Science and Technology organized a one-day event in New Delhi on the 24th of October 2024 to showcase the achievements of our scientific and technological cooperation. Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, in his welcome address said,
Her Excellency Ms. Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, President of DARD, Professor Joyabrato Mukherjee, Professor Karin Yacob, Dr. Johan Fackel, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, all the distinguished guests from India and Germany. On behalf of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, it gives me an immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all the esteemed delegates to this historic event. Namaskar to all the German delegates and welcome to India. We are at a stage of an important milestone of bilateral relations between India and Germany and have gathered today to celebrate the 50 years of Indo-German science and technology cooperation. A formal intergovernmental agreement on cooperation in scientific research and technological development was concluded in March 1974, and therefore this year we are celebrating 50 years. Though the cooperation between India and Germany existed even before 1974 in terms of the footprint of DAD and also the establishment of IIT Madras in 1961. Further, an APEX Indo-German Committee on Science and Technology was established in 1994 to coordinate the implementation of the cooperation, the joint review of the activities, and suggest measures towards advancement of the cooperation. A significant milestone was achieved with the establishment of the Indo-German Science and Technology Center as a flagship initiative of the Government of India, Department of Science and Technology, and Government of Germany, BMBF, to promote the research partnership in applied research of industrial relevance. Academia, research institutions, and industries of both countries have strong bonding, and IGSTC has been playing the role of a catalyst in furthering our strategic research and development partnerships. Later years, India became a founder member country in the construction of the International Facility for Anti-Proton and Ion Research, FAIR, and we also signed an MOU for cooperation at Synchrotron Research, DAISY, Hamburg, which is one of the world's leading accelerator centers, generating the most intense X-rays and X-ray particles, doing research in high-energy physics. Efforts of these collaborations have resulted in several institutional mechanisms also. Indian research institutions such as IITs, Indian Council of Medical Research, Indian Institute of Science Education Research, ICER, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR labs, and German research institutes such as Max Planck, Leibniz Institutes, DFG, DAD, etc. have created vibrant bonding. In 2022, the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and DFG agreed to initiate a joint funding mechanism to support the Indo-German International Research Training Group. While many collaborative projects have been implemented under the bilateral programs, several more are in the anvil in the near future. Both sides can look back on a trusting and increasingly close partnership which has given rise to a large number of networks and collaborations. The present government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, has laid emphasis on promoting the entire value chain of innovations, entrepreneurship, and IP generations. Indian innovation system today is very purpose-driven rather than with a focus on affordability, accessibility, and a cutting-edge research. As a part of this commemorative event, we have planned several sessions today. Panel discussions have been planned to showcase their achievements. We have panel discussions on Indo-German cooperations in industrial research, academic exchange program, fostering joint research collaborations in basic research, and the mega science infrastructures like FAIR and DAISY. Today, we should not only celebrate our past achievements, but also use this opportunity to discuss the potential for further cooperations and set the stage for enhancing our collaborations for the next 50 years. I am confident that today's deliberations will provide a new dimension to the Indo-German science, technology and innovation relations, and therefore Your Excellency, your visit to India will set the stage for enhancing our partnership for the next 50 years. I hope that today's deliberation will go a long way to consolidate and build on the synergies of both the countries. We are grateful to both ministers for gracing this event, and I would also like to express my gratitude to the entire German delegations who have traveled to India. We hope to receive continued support to fulfill the vision of our two leaders of great nations. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Dr. Johann Feckel, Director and Section Head of Pre-Competitive Research, Fraunhofer Gesellschaft, said,
As Director of Pre-Competitive Research and International Affairs of Fraunhofer Gesellschaft, it is a great honor and privilege to address you today as we celebrate the 50th Jubilee of the Indo-German Science and Technology Cooperation. This important milestone is a testament to the strength of our partnership and our joint commitment to advancing science and technology between our nations. Over the past 5 decades, the collaboration between Germany and India has thrived, driven by a mutual desire to push the boundaries of knowledge and innovation. Fraunhofer Gesellschaft is proud to have been a part of this journey for the past 16 years in India. Fraunhofer has been a long-time trusted innovation partner in India, collaborating with some of the major players in the field of materials science, energy, environment, automotive, electromobility, production technology, microsystems and smart cities, working with industry, government, and the public sector. The India office of Fraunhofer in Bangalore was inaugurated in 2012 and houses an experienced theater showcasing some of the latest technologies developed by various Fraunhofer institutes. The Fraunhofer Innovation and Technology Platform is an exciting initiative and a biennial flagship event of Fraunhofer Office India, which focuses on different thematic fields and showcases cutting-edge technologies, innovations, and solutions like never before. It brings together experts from various Fraunhofer institutes to connect with clients and partners in India. In the last few years, Fraunhofer has been increasingly requested for technology advice, roadmaps, and strategic advisory by central and state governments in India, as well as by leading industry associations. Fraunhofer has been supporting the ministries, departments, and think tanks with technology inputs, strategic advisory support, and roadmaps on frontier technologies, such as hydrogen tech, electronics and semiconductors, Industry 4.0 and IoT, smart cities, battery technologies, electromobility, water, and agriculture. Several organizations also seek Fraunhofer's expertise in setting up innovation clusters, centers of excellence, and strengthening the applied research innovation ecosystem in India. The Indo-German Science and Technology Center has played a crucial role in promoting joint applied research, serving as a bridge that connects our talent and facilitates groundbreaking projects. Our presence in India has been supported by our strong and fruitful partnership with IGSTC, particularly in the realm of 2+2 applications. Our cooperation has enabled us to combine the strengths of academia and industry, leading to innovations that address the real-world challenges and drive economic growth. Fraunhofer's core competence has been the creation as well as exchange of knowledge and talent. We are delighted to have supported the IGSTC Fellowship Program by hosting Indian researchers at over 20 Fraunhofer institutes, providing them with the opportunity to work on cutting-edge research and gain invaluable experience. We are particularly excited about our current initiative to promote the hosting of women researchers in both Germany and India, which underscores our commitment to diversity and inclusion, recognizing that the best solutions come from a wide range of perspectives. As we look to the future, the importance of our collaboration cannot be overstated. The challenges we face today, from climate change to digital transformation, require a concerted effort across borders. By continuing to work together, we can harness the power of science and technology to create a sustainable and prosperous future for all. In closing, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of those who have contributed to and continue to drive the success of the Indo-German Science and Technology Cooperation. Your dedication has laid the foundation for a partnership that will continue to flourish for many years to come. I look forward to the continued success of our collaboration. Thank you very much.
Professor Karen Jacobs, Vice President, German Research Foundation, DFG.
Thank you very much. Today we are honoring 50 years of successful and trusting scientific and technological cooperation between India and Germany. On behalf of the President of the German Research Foundation, Professor Katja Becker, whom I represent today as a Vice President of the German Science Foundation, I would like to convey our special gratitude and appreciation to the Ministry of Science and Technology of India, in particular to you, Professor Karandika, for inviting us to share this exceptional Golden Jubilee celebration. I would also like to thank our colleagues from India for their always highly professional cooperation, for their dedication to jointly pursue our shared visions, and for our truly inspiring exchanges. Your commitment highlights the depth and the potential of our Indo-German partnership, which is rooted in a long tradition of scientific contacts and joint research activities between India and Germany. I'm a physicist, and a prime example of this long-standing partnership is the historic collaboration between Satyendra Nath Bose and Albert Einstein. It was in the 1920s. And exactly 100 years ago, their correspondence in 1924 led to the development of the Bose-Einstein statistics and laid the foundation for a revolutionary understanding of quantum mechanics. Their collaboration shows the transnational nature of quantum physics, proving how scientific discoveries transcend borders and drive progress with impact until today. This partnership of ours is encouraged by the close diplomatic relations between our two countries. Today, the 1974 Indo-German Agreement on Scientific and Technological Cooperation serves as the foundation for our ongoing pioneering collaboration in science, technology and innovation. Since 1986, the German Research Foundation has supported many collaborative research initiatives and established strong partnerships with funding organizations in India. 20 years ago, our first Memorandum of Understanding with the Department of Science and Technology was signed, and in 2006, the German Research Foundation opened its own office in Delhi. Since then, it serves both as an information hub for collaboration opportunities for researchers in India and Germany, and as a leading partner in joint efforts to establish co-funding programs, organize scientific workshops, and expand scientific networks between India and Germany. In 2010, the Indo-German Science and Technology Center, jointly operated by the BMBF and DST, followed, which also offers programs for joint research cooperation, primarily strengthens the network and inter-industry university partnerships. Furthermore, the Center for Research and Innovation opened here in New Delhi in 2012, representing a network of 26 German research organizations, universities, funding bodies, and research-based companies. This strong institutional presence of German scientific organizations ensures fertile ground for the flourishing scientific cooperation between our two countries. The significance of our partnership is reflected not least in the steadily growing number of mutual contacts and cooperation in research. The cooperation between the German Research Foundation and its partner organizations in India is likewise yielding successful results. Not only has the variety of joint funding programs increased considerably for the benefit of scientific research, also the number of German and Indian institutions applying for projects with their respective partners is increasing from year to year. In particular, the latest joint initiatives in the International Research Training Group program have a major forward-looking impact as they serve to train the next generation of researchers and enable them to stand out through excellent research. Today, this gives us a reason to celebrate, congratulate ourselves on our successful collaboration, and look to the future together. Thank you very much.
Professor Jayabhrata Mukherjee, President, German Academic Exchange Service.
It is an honor to be here today as we celebrate 50 years of technology and science cooperation between India and Germany. And for me personally, a member of the German delegation with a typically Indian name, it is a particularly interesting and notable moment, and I'm really thrilled to see the success story of the past 5 decades. Over these past 5 decades, we have witnessed a remarkable growth of our partnership rooted in shared values, mutual respect, and trust. India holds a place of profound importance for Germany across economic, strategic, cultural, and diplomatic dimensions. This significance is regularly reinforced through Indo-German intergovernmental consultations, such as those taking place tomorrow, and through our long-standing cooperation in education and research. In 1974, India became the 7th country to establish a technological agreement with Germany, well before we set up similar agreements with nations like the US or the United Kingdom. Our initial agreement identified 3 core pillars: the exchange of information, the exchange of scientists and personnel, and the implementation of joint or coordinated research and development tasks. The past 50 years of our cooperation in those fields have clearly demonstrated the importance of all those 3 pillars, but especially of the second one. Innovation is not merely a product of government policies or signed agreements. Most of all, it is a product of the collaborative spirit shared within the global research community. One of the driving forces behind the success of our long-standing partnership has therefore been the personal connections and exchanges between our researchers, our scientists, our students. They are the ones who breathe life into a project, who foster a culture of trust, openness, and creativity, all key ingredients for technological and scientific breakthroughs. They established the long-term relationships and robust international networks which are vital for fostering global cooperation. They put into practice the sharing of knowledge, of resources, and expertise across borders. By doing so, they are fulfilling an important role of coordination, which helps to avoid duplication and drives progress in finding strategies to tackle the manifold global challenges we are facing. The German Academic Exchange Service, DART, has played a pivotal role in facilitating these people-to-people exchanges. In 1965, almost 10 years before the conclusion of the first official cooperation agreement between our governments, we already opened an office in India, the first of this kind outside Europe at this point. Over the past decades, thousands of students, researchers, and faculty members have benefited from DART programs, advancing science and technology in both our countries. Together, India and Germany have built a strong network of people and institutions. More than 10,000 DAD alumni contribute to these efforts every day. There's hardly a university in India without DART, Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, Max Planck, DFG, or Fraunhofer alumni fostering these vital connections. In the past years, the academic mobility between our countries has reached a new, spectacular peak. Nearly 50,000 Indian students are currently pursuing their studies at a German university, which makes them the largest group of international students in Germany. In 2023 alone, the DAD supported 3,300 students and faculty with scholarships for studies or research stays in India or vice versa in Germany. There exist over 465 university collaborations involving more than 320 higher education institutions from India and Germany. Currently, 26 German institutions operate under the umbrella of the German Center for Research and Innovation, as was highlighted by Professor Jacobs already, here in New Delhi, DWIH in short, an initiative of the German science organizations coordinated by DART. An essential aspect of our successful cooperation lies in the fact that we aim at fostering equitable partnerships. I think we all agree, true collaboration is built on mutual respect and shared responsibility, with both partners, India and Germany, contributing to and benefiting from scientific progress. By ensuring balanced and just collaborations, we pave the way for long-term sustainable cooperation that benefits not only our two countries, but the global community in total. Co-funded schemes have been integral in promoting this cooperation, representing our shared commitment to research and development. Since the 1960s, India and Germany have successfully implemented several of these schemes. In 1965, the DAD signed its first contract with CSIR for co-funded scientist exchanges. For the past 25 years, a DST-DAD program has funded mobility in various research projects. And since 2020, India and Germany have jointly invested 7 million euros in higher education projects through the Indo-German Partnership Program implemented by UGC and DAD. As we celebrate 50 years of collaboration, it is important to remember that the foundation we have built will only grow stronger if we continue to invest in our partnership. The upcoming discussions during the intergovernmental consultations will once again highlight the importance of higher education and research cooperation, and they will also demonstrate that our work is far from over. This is why currently at DART we are exploring with our Indian partners ways to support research cooperation between universities as well as international technology transfer and science-based startups. Ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all of those who have contributed to the success of our remarkable partnership over the past 5 decades. Looking forward, today's celebrations and our cooperation make all of us at DART feel optimistic that together we can create a more inclusive, knowledge-driven and sustainable world. Thank you very much.
Professor Ashutosh Sharma, President, INSA.
It's really delightful that we are celebrating 50 years of India-Germany cooperation in science and technology. And of course, we can add to it innovation with the rise of of India-German Center, which is focused on applied research, on translating research into industrial practice and products. So that's such a fantastic feeling, because I have been little part of that journey for about nearly 7 years. And the cooperation between India and Germany is very multi-stakeholder. It took me nearly 2 years to figure out all the actors on both the sides. And so which is good, it's multi-stakeholder, it's multi-dimensional, and it serves the needs varied between the two countries. Why do we need to cooperate internationally? Why does India cooperate with Germany? So I think we have very clear answers to these two questions. International cooperation brings new skills and new perspectives. And with Germany, if you look at the data and statistics, you see that the papers which are with German authors, they receive the highest citations. So this is hard data. And so, all of you guys, Indian scientists here, if you want to cooperate with some country XYZ, the first X should be Germany. And because clearly it brings value to both the sides. Dr. Jacobs, she talked about famous Bose-Einstein cooperation. But let me give you a more personal example. So in the last century, more than 25 years ago, I met Dr. Jacobs sitting here, and we both gained tremendously by that interaction. But we were younger back then, 30 years ago. And look what it did to us, right? We are both sitting here today after 30 years, talking to each other, and this is fantastic. And so I wish that we talk more, that we cooperate more, and not just a mindless competition, but cooperation brings value. So how do we bring more value to India-German relation? There's a whole lot of stuff which has been happening. Professor Karendikar told us all these different tracks which are going on. That's really great. What is it that we could possibly do more? So one of the things is that it would be good for German Indian to connect with the national missions which are going on in India. And these are all the future. So if you are looking at the rise of intelligent machines, Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 comes from Germany, Siemens mostly. So clearly now the whole world is talking about Industry 4.0, which is a convergence of the digital and the physical. And this is where the cyber physical mission of India originated. There's another quantum technology mission. There's a mission on clean energy, hydrogen mission. There is electric mobility mission. There are a whole lot of stuff which is going on in biotechnology, and also focus on sustainability. So all of these big missions which are going on in India, if we connect our German colleagues with this, it would bring additional value, because all these missions are empowered to directly make international partnerships. So they are like mini ministries. They are like mini DFG or DST, and so they are very focused, and they can bring researchers in, they can send people out. So it would be great to look at all these possibilities. Of course, the whole world is moving to problem solving rather than tool-centric approach to research. So if we define some big problems, we have big networks rather than standalone small projects which have dead end. So there are a whole lot of hundreds of projects which do satisfy the PI and a couple of PhD students, but they really would not go anywhere. They have no future. So can we actually define a good problem, have a whole network of people, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, out of disciplinary, whatever, looking at it and solving the problem and delivering the products. Finally, that we must bring in greater diversity, inclusion, and equity. It basically means, well, involving people of all ages, younger people, hungry people, in terms of gender, more women, and so on. And of course, we have to catch them young. So all these PhD students and so on, if we focus greater energy on these people, that's going to lead to a great future. That we must be seeking end-to-end projects, long-term multi-PI projects, instead of very fragmented small projects which have no clear path forward. Then of course joint innovation, and perhaps, look, in 2015, India had 70 registered technology startups. Today, there are 140,000 technology startups. So within the last 10 years, there's been huge transformation. So can we connect startups? Can we do technology development together? And not just technology transfer. So technology transfer is easy, but we leave it to commercial people, to companies. But if we are looking at scientist to scientist cooperation, we must not focus only on technology transfer, but let's develop technology together. What's the strength of India? The strength of India is huge, diversified markets. Everything that one can make, there is a market for it, from 1 penny to $1 to $1 million product. So it's all there, huge number. Second advantage is demographic dividend. The average age of India is 29 years. Okay, we are over the top, everybody sitting here. Okay, so the market and the people, can we leverage that? Can we build upon these twin strengths? And finally, connecting deep tech startups, can we do soft lending? So these are very established norms for doing it. Can our startups work together to develop products for both the markets? Markets are very important, and India has that. So to conclude, I'm saying today, century of exponential technologies. And so our relation between India and Germany should also be exponential. The next 10 years should bring more value than the last 50 years. 50 years is the time in Indian culture. 50 years signifies that we make a shift from self-centered approach to society. So this is called Vanprastha Ashram. Okay, what it means is that I don't work only for myself, that you have to start working for other people. And so 50 years is that maturity that signifies that we do this shift and say, look, how can we solve big problems? Thank you very much.
Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Federal Minister of Education and Research, Ministry of Education and Research, Federal Republic of Germany.
What a jubilee we can celebrate today, linked to many good memories of the highlights of our cooperation, successes which we have achieved together, filled with so many future vibrations. I personally like this spirit. In Germany, we often say, and I think we should think in these terms, we need moonshot ambition. So I find myself in New Delhi now, and what do I see? A country which just recently made a successful landing on the moon, and which has also launched a probe to the sun. We have the very best reasons to celebrate more than just the past today. We can also celebrate the look ahead to our continued cooperation. And let me begin with a big thank you to our hosts, of course, for the wonderful invitation here and your hospitality, and to all of those from our two countries who have played a part in the 50 years of science and technology cooperation through their daily commitment and perseverance, through their dedication to academic exchange, with their dreams of progress through science. Thank you. And I'm very happy that we heard already about the added value of impressive numbers and figures we heard today. I firmly believe that progress through science is one of the most important engines of human civilization. Wanting to know, to invent, do research to make the world a better place, produce new things, make our daily lives easier, with the huge privilege of discipline to work for tomorrow and beyond. It has only been a week since the European Research Council visited us in Berlin. I was asked to deliver a talk about Germany's vision, and I spoke about what we might achieve through close cooperation in Europe and with international partners which share our values. To name just 3 examples. First, a world with no worries about energy supply, where there's enough power for all, for the science community to conduct their experiments, for industry and its production, and for consumers in private households too, of course, secure energy that is affordable for all without harming the climate. Second, a world with no worries about food supply, because there is enough growing for everyone, because plants are more resistant to extreme weather, and there are good, tasty meat alternatives, and because we have learned to use resources responsibly instead of wasting them. Third, a world where we have fewer worries about sickness and disease and instead enjoy a higher quality of life because we use state-of-the-art technology in diagnostics and treatment, because of the broader deployment of preventive, personalized medicine, because we have won the fight against cancer and other global scourges. Now that is truly a vision, not an illusion. As you know, first steps have long been made in science. It might in some instances still take a few years, but we know we can do it. From fusion energy to new breeding techniques, from mRNA technologies and AI in the healthcare sector. So much potential materials, ladies and gentlemen, for our science technology cooperation in the upcoming decades, and at a time when humankind is facing such great tasks. How lucky that our conference sends this strong signal of the deepening of our science and technology cooperation and its expansion. The groundwork we have laid is outstanding. These 50 years of long-standing relations have been close, dependable, and fruitful. What an asset we have to build upon. To do even more, achieve even more, to grow together. And I warmly encourage you to do this, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many points where we get started in the fields I just mentioned, in the many topics of today's conference, thanks also to our mindsets we have. India and Germany both place high value on education, the joy of learning, curiosity to gain new knowledge. Add to that the viable structures that we have built up in 50 years of science and technology cooperation. The German Center for Research and Innovation here in Delhi, or the Indo-German Science and Technology Center. Germany has nothing of the kind anywhere else in the world. Then there is the institute whose name already speaks of its mandate, the Indo-German Center for Sustainability in Chennai, especially valuable in times of climate change, scarce resources, and environmental problems. India is also involved in two of Germany's large research infrastructures, and I'm very pleased about this. And which is why it was no coincidence that we choose Darmstadt to celebrate the Jubilee in Germany, at FAIR, currently one of the largest research projects worldwide. FAIR is a flagship of Indo-German Science and Technology Cooperation, and my thanks go to India as third largest shareholder. When you go there, it becomes pretty clear how many researchers from India are involved, how much technical expertise there is from your country, how many high-tech components come from India and are still due to come. FAIR is proof that projects of this scale need strong and reliable international partners, which have a common goal to achieve, to get FAIR up and running, elicit the secrets of the universe from the Big Bang up to the present day. Our second flagship in Germany is also devoted to basic research, the Indian beamline at DESY in Hamburg. The successful partnership at DESY's Petra 3 radiation source will continue after 2024. You'll be hearing further details about that today, about mega science facilities. So let's take advantage of these mega chances for research, because research pushes our economies forward. The economy in India is growing. You aim to take up pole positions, my esteemed hosts. And when I think of just your startup scene that was mentioned, the potential is truly palpable. 2 years ago, I met a most impressive woman in Brussels. She told me a story about a garage, but it wasn't in the USA. It was in Bangalore. The woman had a dream as a young girl to produce affordable drugs and make them available to as many people as possible. Getting a loan to set up her business was a huge problem in 1978. Ultimately, she succeeded together with partner businesses and 10,000 rupees, the equivalent of about 122 euros today. This investment developed into the largest manufacturer of biopharmaceuticals in India. Today, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw is a successful businesswoman. I wish us all many more success stories like that. So I'm really looking forward to today and the next days to follow. And let's dare to dream, to have visions, to undertake, to do the great things so we achieve great things. In this spirit, I say to you, here's to the next 50 years of science and technology cooperation. Thank you very much.
Dr. Jitendra Singh, Minister of State Independent Charge for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Government of India, remarked,
As was being said by everybody before me, I think we are here to celebrate the golden jubilee of the science and technology cooperation between India and Germany. And indeed, it is a golden jubilee of a golden collaboration. And as was being rightly said by the federal minister, that will augur well for the next 50 years as well. So well begun is half done. So we are halfway through the century, and I'm sure it'll be a better next 50 years to come. And I also have to compliment the scientific community of both India and Germany, the manner in which they have enabled the collaboration to grow from one level to the other. And the world today where we stand, I think we are at a point of technological advancement which is going to be a transformational paradigm shift in the years to come. And we are now almost a part of the global world. And in the last 10 years, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India has more and more assumed the global responsibilities as well, and is ready to live up to the global challenges as well as the global requirements, and also live up to the global parameters. But when we talk of Germany, I think the difference is that it is easy to collaborate in science when you are comfortable otherwise. So our relationship is not only confined to science, it's much more than that. I think that's what makes it special, also makes it easier to work. We share a common cultural heritage, a rich legacy. The two nations have been always curious about each other for centuries together, right from the ancient times. How can we forget? It was Max Muller who for the first time translated the Rig Veda and the Upanishads, the India's ancient scriptures, for the rest of the world to get acquainted. To that extent, we owe to the counterparts in Germany as well for having made the world realize what India is all about. And yes, the first Indian chair of Indology was also set up in University of Bonn, and that happened way back in 1818, almost 200 years ago. And again, if Max Muller did for India what the ancient legacy was, this Center of Indology acquainted the world what India in the modern times was heading for. And soon thereafter, around the time of independence in 1947, I think Germany was one of the first countries with which we had diplomatic relations put in place soon after the Second World War. So what I'm trying to say is that in each generation, in each age, there has been enhancement in the intensity and the scale of the relationship between the two countries, depending upon the times and depending upon the milieu in which the world was progressing. And also it gives me a pleasure that it was the late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, in whose tenure, diplomatically, the status of the relationship between India and Germany was raised to the strategic partnership relation, something which the diplomats would understand better because it has connotations even when you diplomatically engage with each other. So that was formalized. And therefore, as I said, it becomes far much easier to relate in the matters of science, technology, and innovation. But at the same time, this is also true that science, technology have today become very important strategic pillars of the overall relationship between the two countries. I think that is also applicable within any two nations relating to each other because science, innovation, technology is now the core of the world's growth across the regions. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the last 10 years since 2014, there has been a very steep growth, as we were discussing informally before this session started. And I think Dr. Mukherjee was telling me there were very few students till about 12 years back. Now it's almost gone up to 50,000. So we have 50,000 Indian students in Germany. When he said that, I told him that since in the last visit of the Prime Minister we were there, and it also was an occasion to interact with the Indian students over there. The Indian students there, who of course maybe around 50,000, represent virtually every state of the country, every union territory. So it's like visiting the diverse India in a single small unit when you're there in Germany. And I'm sure they do so not only because they look forward to be gratified by the scientific collaboration, the scientific knowledge that they're going to gain, but also because they must be feeling at home over there. And we came across a couple of startups over there who had started about 12 food outlets in Germany. So I became inquisitive. I asked this boy, you have 12 Indian food outlets, but you don't have so much of Indian diaspora over here. And you know, Her Excellency, what they told me? They said, we don't make a fortune by feeding only the Indian diaspora. Even the Germans have developed Indian taste of Indian food. So that gives a very warm feeling of comradeship and enables us to grow in every sphere of life. I'm also glad to inform that the Department of Science and Technology and the Government of India and the Research Foundation of Germany have jointly agreed to set up the International Research Training Group with the involvement of the first group of researchers from IICER Thiruvananthapuram in India and the Oxford University on photoluminescences in supramolecular matrices. In India, we have very consciously, under Prime Minister Modi, made an effort to make science and technology as relevant to a common man as possible. Because the ultimate objective of the science and technology has to be to bring ease of living for a common person. And you would realize that today, even if it is science, even if it is space technology, is no longer confined to the launching of rockets in India. It's virtually entered every Indian household. And every sector, whether it's the agriculture, whether it's the healthcare, whether it's industry, whether it's construction of roads and buildings, whether it's the mapping of the farms and the land. And in the same spirit, I think we have also tried to grow and also collaborate with Germany in the areas which are now holding a futuristic relevance for the world. For example, the climate action. Prime Minister in one of the COP meetings was the first to declare that we would set a target of net zero for 2070 for India, and also for achieving long-term sustainable growth, for ensuring traditional and non-traditional security as far as the global pandemics are concerned. The manner in which the COVID pandemic was managed in India is in fact a case study in itself, because a country of 140 crore was being looked upon by the rest of the world as a hot spot. The entire world was apprehensive that if we go wrong, it will split over on them. But we were the first to come out with the first ever DNA vaccine and also provided to at least 30 other countries. So I think India today has also evolved to that a position where we could manage things on our own and also collaborate at an equal level to the mutual benefit of both. And therefore, this is one of the best times happening for India-Germany collaboration as well. Whether it's the cutting-edge discoveries, whether it's the space, Her Excellency rightly mentioned about our space mission, and you will be glad when I inform you that our ISRO, the space organization, was founded in the year 1969 when the first human being landed on the surface of moon. But today, we have been the first to land on the southern pole of moon. And that quantum jump has happened in some of the revolutionary decisions taken in the last 10 years, like opening up to the private sector, etc. Artificial intelligence is now being used in a very big way. In biotechnology, which was a lesser explored area as far as India is concerned, but India has a huge resource. We were just, as was being mentioned by Professor Ashutosh, in case of startups overall, we were just 350 to 400. Today, within 10 years, we've gone up to nearly 2 lakh. But in biotech sector, we were just about 50 startups. Today, we are more than 8,000. And also anticipating the nature of importance that biotechnology is going to gain in the years to come, not only within India, but globally. I think we are among the first to have come out with a biotechnology policy, which happened very recently after the beginning of the third term of Prime Minister Modi. And it has been very appropriately named as BioE3, which means biotechnology for environment, biotechnology for employment, and biotechnology ultimately for economy. Because we foresee that the next industrial revolution will be bioeconomy driven. And we have recently also, I think a few months back, come out with the National Research Foundation, very much like one Germany has. And we have, keeping the Indian ethos in mind and the legacy which Max Muller and the Uparashis left for us, named it as Anusandhan. So it is called Anusandhan National Research Foundation, which will, of course, one of its mandates would be to determine the kind of collaborations that we are going to have with different nations, including with Germany, depending on the relevance of the two countries, the resources of the two countries, the priorities of the two countries. And as I said, we are into new missions which have global themes like the electrical vehicles, the cyber systems, which incidentally Professor Kanadikar is also involved with. Our quantum technologies, we have launched Mission Quantum Technology. We are among the few countries in the world to have done so. Green hydrogen fuel. And we are launching a deep ocean mission, which was actually announced by Prime Minister Modi in his Independence Day address, which is said to be the declaration of intent by any Prime Minister. So we have a 7,500 kilometer long coastal area, which was possibly not fully explored. And of course, Professor Ashutosh was mentioning the steep rise in the number of startups, but I would like to add to that now we are ranked number 3 in the world in the startup ecosystem. And therefore, we have something to offer to others as well. About ISRO, I have already spoken. And therefore, I think we would use this valuable visit by Her Excellency and also by the Chancellor to enhance a greater degree of collaboration through exposure visit by scholars and scientists of the two countries, also by by knowledge exchange programs and policies, and to achieve the goals of R&D benefits for the society ultimately, as I said. I would also like to compliment both India and Germany for the establishment of the Indo-German Science and Technology Center, the flagship initiative of the Government of India and Government of Germany. So we are actually collaborating at government-to-government level, also seeking to collaborate at the private-to-private level, at different levels, because we personally believe that we have to move beyond this. We have to have a very wholesome, integrated collaboration at different levels. And I'm sure that the participants from Germany and India, whose contribution and presence is crucial to the success of this event, would certainly go back benefited than before. I'm sure my colleagues are looking after you well. If there's any lapse, I would rather ask for forgiveness in advance. And I'm sure, along with a sumptuous academic program, they have also arranged a sumptuous hospitality with a sumptuous banquet this evening. Thank you very much.
The vote of thanks was presented by Dr. Praveen Kumar Somasundaram, Head, International Cooperation, Department of Science and Technology.
Thank you. Concerning the time, I will be very crisp. I feel honored and privileged to propose a vote of thanks to on this occasion of Golden Jubilee celebration of Indo-German S&T cooperation. I, on behalf of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to Her Excellency Ms. Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Federal Minister of Education and Research, Federal Republic of Germany. I am also thankful to the Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Government of India, Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is a source of inspiration for implementation of many high-valued S&D programs. I would also like to thank all dignitaries on this dais, and also special thanks to Mr. R. Madan, Director IGSTC, who has organized this event on behalf of DST. I would like to especially thank him for his commitment and clarity in designing the program. I would also thank our esteemed delegation from DAD, DFG, German Embassy. I would like to thank all the delegates who blessed us with their presence. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated scientists and officers of IGSTC, International Cooperation Division of DST, Dr. Rajiv Kumar, the Desk Officer of our India, Germany S&T Corporation. Thanks to all colleagues from DST and other departments and friends from media. Thank you.
Some panel discussions were also organized on different topics, such as Indo-German cooperation in industrial research, benefits of the partnership and possible ways forward, from connections to collaboration, reflections on Indo-German exchange programs, fostering joint research collaboration in basic research by the German Research Foundation, mega science infrastructures, effective utilization, joint global experiments, etc., in which over 200 researchers from India and Germany participated. Narrated by Manoj Mainkar, this presentation by Dilip Jha was broadcast from the Indraprastha channel of Akashvani, Delhi.